What's up, party people? JT, I am the tie here, bringing you guys yet again another narrated Wi-Fi battle today. Got a match today against TonyFlygon. Obviously, a link to his channel will be in the description below. He's a really good player. We decided to play a little bit of OU, 4th Gen OU, a little bit of competitive 4th Gen OU. I am dusting off my Back to the Future theme team because I love using it. And without further ado, let's just jump right on into the action. I got a Metagross out here because, you know, he's silver, he's shiny. He looks like a DeLorean. I'm going to go ahead and go for the Meteor Mash. He got him a champ out on the lead spot. Haven't seen one of those in a while. Pretty good matchup for me. I do have the Lumberry. I don't have the Akaberry, so I'm not too worried about that. He is going to go for the Dynamic Punch. He can do a lot more damage than I'm actually expecting because he gets a critical hit, and obviously it puts me in a pickle. Don't know if he's going to switch out into a bulky water in this scenario or go out into a Heatran, predicting a second Meteor Mash. Figure the safest thing I could probably do is just go straight for the Stealth Rocks. He takes me out with the Deep Punch. Not too big of a deal in my mind. At least I got my Rocks up, right? So in comes my own Machamp. I know that I should be able to outspeed him if he's running a lead variant. So debating whether I should go for Substitute or for the Dynamic Punch right off the bat. He goes into a Gengar. I really can't afford to let this guy set up a Substitute. I'm not too worried about a Shadow Ball from full health, so I feel pretty safe just going for the payback just in case he does go for that sub. And obviously at this point he doesn't want to lose his Gengar, so Tony's going to go ahead and go for the switch. In comes a Machamp again on the expected payback, and now I'm trying to decide whether he's trying to bait my Dynamic Punch by going into someone else. So I'm going to go for the Stone Edge because I'm pretty sure that's still going to be able to take him out. It does, so I feel pretty fortunate in that regard. And obviously at this point, he gets switch out into a Swampert. And now I'm thinking Swampert's probably going to set up some Stealth Rocks on me. I figure it was probably a free opportunity to go for a sub. It at least forces him to go for the Roar, and I get a free Dynamic Punch off on him. But he goes straight for the Earthquake, and it turns out that Substitute really helped me out because he would have done a lot more damage if I didn't go for that Substitute. So now I'm thinking he's still going to set up some Rocks. I figure, so now I'm just going to go ahead and go for the Deep Punch right off the bat, because obviously he might just spam the Roar on me. It turns out he doesn't actually go for the Rocks in this scenario. Kind of surprises me a little bit. He can go straight for the Roar, obviously expecting me to go for that second Substitute. In comes a Jolteon, and obviously great, I can hit him with a Hidden Power Grass, except for I don't have it. So I'm actually bluffing Hidden Power Grass in the chat, so he's going to scout for the HP Grass. He's going to go ahead and go into his Heatran, either predicting the HP Grass or predicting a Grass type to come in. So that's a good switch on his part. Obviously, don't know how fast this Heatran is. I don't even know what type of set it is, so I'm going to go ahead and switch out into my Milotic. He goes for the Lava Plume. Obviously doesn't do too much damage because Milotic is a total monster, and looks like he's running a little bit of a bulk Heatran. Now, I didn't know if he was going to save the Heatran because obviously it has no way to really heal. So I decided to just play it safe and go for the Surf, even though I know that Heatran and Celebi they commonly go in tandem with each other. But he goes for the Toxic. Obviously, really wasn't expecting that all too much, and really not expecting the following turn. I believe he's going to go ahead and go for a Protect. And obviously that's a really good move to have on a Heatran. It's going to rack up some toxic damage on the Milotic. I'm not too worried because I do have Recover. I don't want to sit in too long, and obviously I don't want to take another round of toxic damage. But apparently that's very obvious to him. So I'm going to switch just that way I don't get any more toxic or toxic damage. I go into Marty McFly. He predicts my switch, and he goes for a Toxic. So great play on his part. Unfortunately, it actually misses. And obviously he does have the Protect, so I figure I'm going to lock myself in an Earthquake, at least bait him into going into his Gengar, because I figure that's probably the switch that's going to come out. And I am going to double switch as he goes into his Gengar. I'm going to go into my Jolteon because I know he's one of those sub-split sets. I'm going to be faster. In comes the Gengar, and obviously that's great. I can go ahead and go straight for the Shadow Ball, and looking at his team, haven't seen too much that really wants to take a Shadow Ball. I know Swampert's going to be a 2-hit KO'd from that range. In comes the Pert, and obviously that is definitely going to be a 2-hit KO because that's a Spec Shadow Ball coming his way. Chance of not being able to get out of Rocks, I like that chance. I'm going to go ahead and go for the Shadow Ball, mainly because I don't know what he's going to have, he's going to go into other than a Heatran to take the Shadow Ball, and I can just switch out into Milotic in that scenario, but he goes into Scizor. And obviously that really sucks because he can either Pursuit me, predicting a switch, which is very obvious because I'm choice locked, or he can go for the U-turn. But he goes for the Pursuit, doesn't take me out, but thankfully because he doesn't have Rocks up, I can still get the Jolteon back in because he's locked into a Dark move. I'm going to go into my Machamp right now. So it's a free Substitute in my mind. I'm going to go ahead and go for the sub right now. He goes into his Swampert. I don't know if he was thinking maybe he might be faster in this scenario, but I do have a little bit of speed in this Machamp, so I'm going to go ahead and go for the Dynamic Punch, and that's going to be able to take out the Swampert. So that works out pretty well for me in that regard. Obviously, I'm having entry hazards up on his side and then not on my side works out really well to my advantage because I tend to do quite a bit of switching. But in comes a Celebi. Obviously, I got a Substitute up. No need to switch in this regard just yet. I'm assuming that it's probably like a physically defensive Celebi because most Celebis are. But I'm going to go ahead and go for the payback, and obviously that's going to do a pretty sizable chunk. But, you know, I don't want to take another grass knot, obviously. I don't know what he's going to do. I'm assuming he might go for the recover. I believe since we're doing 4th gen mechanics, if he goes for the recover, it'll only do 60 base power as opposed to 120 base power. So or it's like 50 and 100. But so I go into my Flygon. He does go for that recover, and obviously, if it's a physically bulky set, I believe they take about half damage from a U-turn, even though it's quad effective because Flygon hits like a freaking runway model, you know. So Marty McFly goes for the U-turn. Does a little bit more than half actually, but obviously not going to be able to take him out. He knows that, so he goes straight for the recover. A good play on his part. But obviously, I've revealed that I have Shadow Ball already and that I'm spec'd. So I'm assuming that the Shadow Ball would be able to scare him off. So I'm going to go ahead, go into my Jolteon, and go for the T-Bolt, predicting him to go out into Heatran so I can get some pretty nice damage in on it because I know he doesn't have a Pert anymore. Obviously, 1.21 gigawatts really not going to do all too much, even though it's a critical hit because it's a freaking Thunderbolt. He resisted. He's scouting for it, which is a great play on his part. And obviously, I locked myself into a move that he'd resisted to, so it forces a switch on my end. He reads that switch from a mile away. I go into Doc Brown. He goes for Hidden Power, super effective Hidden Power. Fire or Ice, I really don't know at this point, but obviously, I can take about 4 of those, actually, and I do have access to recover, so I'm not too worried in this scenario at all. But I'm predicting him to either go out into Heatran or to go out into Gengar in this scenario. So I go for the T-Wave, in comes a Gengar, and that works out pretty well for me. Obviously, I'm looking at the health, and I'm thinking I'm modest. I'm running max special attack. A Hidden Power Fire should be able to take him out. So I'm going to go for it. Tony's actually really surprised that it does take him out, but that worked out so well. I was really worried that it wasn't going to because I'm not running Life Orb on this particular Celebi. But in comes a Heatran. Obviously, I don't have anything to hit the Heatran with, and I don't want to risk getting hit by a Lava Plume, so I'm going to go ahead and go into my Milotic. But he predicts that and goes and double switches into Celebi, which is a great play on his part. Obviously, the switching game is, we're playing a whole bunch of switches right now. It's like a little bit of a chess match. But obviously, at this point, I'm not too worried because obviously I can do a lot of switching because he has no rocks on my side. I got the rocks on his side. So I decided to predict a, I guess I was predicting a T-Wave, which worked out really well. I go into Marty McFly, and obviously I'm going to go for the U-turn. Didn't know what he was going to do. Either he's going to go for a Hidden Power Fire or a Hidden Power Ice, whatever he's got. Or he's going to go for another T-Wave. I didn't want to risk him killing the Jolteon, though. So I go into my Celebi just to be safe. And he ends up going for the T-Wave, which means I probably could have gone into Jolteon, got that Volt Absorb, but, coulda, woulda, shoulda, right? Anyway, I got Doc Brown out here, and obviously, this is pretty much the safest matchup that I really have in this regard. He's going to go for the recover. Obviously, I know that I'm running a little bit more special attack than he is, and he's running a little bit more bulk than I am. But obviously, we probably have the same exact special defense because people don't really run especially defensive Celebi, especially in OU and 4th gen OU. So I'm going to go ahead, I think he got the Parahax on me, and he's going to go ahead and predict another Hidden Power Fire in this scenario. I was really debating going for T-Wave in this scenario, but I decided to just kind of play it safe. In comes the Heatran. I give him the Flash Fire boost, but because I know that he's running a bulky Heatran, I'm not worried about a boosted Lava Plume out of all things, because I do have a Milotic in my back pocket. He goes for the Earth Power, and obviously, because it's kind of especially defensive Milotic, it's kind of a really old spread, not going to be doing too much damage. So obviously, Lorraine's totally rocking it. By the way, Leia Thompson is really hot. That's the reason why, if you guys get that reference, it's great. Max Beauty, how you evolve it from a Phoebus back in 3rd gen. But anyway, in comes the Celebi. I'm going to go for the Surf again, because I don't feel like over-predicting. Even if he goes into Celebi, I can switch into my own Celebi, or I can switch into Flygon in this scenario. Unfortunately, I'm kind of worried about the fact that he could potentially have the Hidden Power Ice in my mind. Obviously, I did go into Flygon last time, so I'm going to go into Doc Brown just in case. He does go for that Hidden Power, the super effective Hidden Power that I don't know of just yet. I didn't even ask him after the match, come to think about it. But anyway, gets super effective damage on the Celebi. And obviously, we're sitting at about the same amount of health. I do think that I can win this matchup one-on-one, though, because he's used up more recovers than I have at this point, because I know he started he used his Celebi earlier on in the match than I did. But I'm going to go ahead and go for the T-Wave, because obviously I was kind of hoping I was going to catch a Heatran on the switch. Maybe he would get a little bit aggressive, predict another Hidden Power Fire. But I figured he was going to go ahead go into his Heatran now, because I did go for that T-Wave last turn, so I go for it again, and he just stayed in T-Wave though. So now he's stuck in a pickle. He's worried that his Heatran's going to get paralyzed, and I really just want to catch that guy, but I'm trying to bait him to come out really. But he's going to go for a Hidden Power, super effective Hidden Power. Once again, I really have no idea, and he's going to go for another one. And this one really stings, because he's going to get a critical hit, and this really puts me in a pickle, because it's also going to get combined with the Parahax. And the thing is that we have a speed tie going on here, so this is really crucial. I have to win the speed tie, and I can't get Parahax, otherwise he takes out my Celebi, pretty much my safest option against his Celebi. But I get the recover off, I don't get the Parahax, and ooh, we got ourselves a little bit of a stall matchup here, obviously. He can go ahead and go for a super effective hidden power. Not going to be able to take me out. I know I can get off another recover in that regard. And obviously, there's really not a whole lot that I can do. We were both deciding at this point that, you know, so one of us has to make the first move. I believe that I can win this matchup regardless, so I know that we were live streaming this at Battle for Charity, so it makes it a little bit tough. Both of us want to play a little bit more aggressively, but at the same time, we're afraid that playing aggressively is going to cost us the match, because obviously this is a pretty critical moment in that regard. So we're going to keep on going for super effective moves. Obviously, he can switch out into Tran, but he's worried about the potential T-Wave. I could switch out into something, but I don't know if he's running Hidden Power Fire or Hidden Power Ice, so I can't go into Flygon in this scenario either. And obviously I don't want anyone else to really take it. I can't switch into Milotic because it doesn't tell me any information. Milotic resists both of those hidden powers and also gets owned by a Grass Knot. So I'm going to go ahead and keep on going in because that's the only option that I really have, because I really don't have a safe switch on his Celebi, and at the same time he does have a safe switch into mine, but he's worried about the Parahack. So we're going to keep on stalling this out for a little bit, and I believe around this time we are going to finally break it on the following turn. I'm going to go for the hidden power. Obviously, maybe a little bit of Parahacks goes our way, maybe another critical hit drops in someone else's lap. No cigar though. And obviously, he's going to make the first move. He goes out into his Heatran, predicting me to not go for a Thunder Wave in this scenario, finally. But, you know, once he has the Heatran in, I got to safe switch into my Milotic, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and switch out into Lorraine. He predicts that, obviously, and goes back out into Celebi, so it puts me in a little bit of a pickle. Obviously, I don't want to go back out into my own Celebi because I just did that, and that took a really, really long time. So I'm debating, is he going to go for the T-Wave, predicting Celebi to come out immediately, or is he just going to go for some free damage? So I was really hoping he'd go for the T-Wave. I go into 1.21 gigawatts because it's the most aggressive play I can make at this point in the match. He goes for the Grass Knot, takes me out, and that really stings, but it's okay. I don't think I need Jolteon in order to finish off this match, although it makes Celebi a little bit more of a problem later. But I'm going to go into Flygon because obviously it's a free switch. I can hit him with the U-turn, and it will kill him at that range. But he goes into Scizor on the predicted U-turn. Obviously, he's going to quad resist that, so that's a good play. And I'm going to go ahead and switch out into my Celebi. I know that the Hidden Power Fire is probably running through his mind, so he's debating whether he should go for the U-turn or if I'm going to go straight for the Hidden Power Fire and play it safe. But I predict the switch, and I go for a Thunder Wave, and oh, that was really, really close. Obviously, he was seconds away from clicking the U-turn, and if he did that, he takes out my Celebi, and obviously, I think he sees complete control of the match. But I got a paralyzed Heatran out here now, and I'm feeling really, really comfortable, because obviously he can't keep on protecting once Flygon's in there, because he runs the risk of getting a Parahack. So I'm going to go into Lorraine. Obviously, there's really not a whole lot that he can do to me. I really can't do a whole lot to him, but I thought that he was going to go ahead and switch out into his Celebi, so I double switch out into Flygon, and he just goes for the Toxic, so that was a good play on his part. And obviously really debating, I don't think he was going to risk going for the Protect in this scenario, so I decided to go for the U-turn, predicting just a flat out switch. He actually got the Protect off, realized that I locked myself in the U-turn, so he is free to stand with his Heatran. That really sucks. So Marty McFly is going to go ahead and go for the U-turn, and I believe I'm going to go ahead and U-turn back out into Lorraine, because that's pretty much the safest option that I have. He goes for the Earth Power. And obviously, I'm going to be sitting around half health, factoring in that toxic damage. And obviously, at this point, really not a whole lot that I can do. I can go for the recover right here, but obviously, basically, my Milotic basically checks his Heatran. But obviously, we both be sitting in here for a really, really long time. But I double switched straight out into Flygon. And it turns out that he went for the Lava Plume, wasn't able to get some nice damage on the Flygon, so that kind of sucks for him. But obviously at this point, I didn't want to over-predict, so I said I'm just going to go straight for the Earthquake. He tries to scout for it, and he gets the Parahacks, and that really, really sucks. And down goes his Heatran. And obviously this puts him in kind of a hole. It's not something that I think that he can't play out of, but it definitely turns the cards in my favor, because I know he's got a Scizor, and I know that he has a Celebi. But obviously at this point, I don't want him to go for a U-turn, predicting my switch, so I'm going to force him to go for the Bullet Punch to take me out, go for the Earthquake. Obviously he is able to take me out. Down goes Marty McFly, but it gives me a free switch into Doc Brown. He really can't do any real switching in this scenario. I know that a Bullet Punch will not KO me from that range, so I'm going to go straight for the Hidden Power Fire, force him to make the right play. I'm going to make sure that he doesn't go for a U-turn just to get some Choice Banded damage on my team. And obviously, at this point, he's down to one guy. I am down to 3 guys, but honestly, Milotic is dead if I send him out against a Celebi, because I don't have anything to hit the Celebi with. I can go into Machamp, but Machamp has the potential of getting a critical hit on him, and also if he's not really attacking me, or he's slower than me, because I am going to get the Parahacks on him. I really didn't find a safe switch for Machamp either, so I decided, because he's used more recovers than me, the safest way that I can possibly win this match is just stay in with Doc Brown, go for the Hidden Power Fire, and then kind of whittle him down that way. Obviously, at this point, he's going to end up running out of recovers. I know it's a little bit of a kind of a weird way to go, but you know, that's what you have to do in competitive matches sometimes. I really didn't see what the safer option was in that scenario, but I'm going to keep on going for hidden power fire. You're going to keep on whittling me away with the hidden power, but obviously he's not doing nearly as much to me as I'm doing to him, and I win the speed tie in this scenario. I'm able to take him out, and that's going to be the game. But that was a really, really good match, Tony. I thought it was really, really good predictions in a ton of different places. You know, the match would have definitely swung in a different direction. You know, say he went for a U-turn when I went for that Thunder Wave with my Celebi. You know, like, you never know how the match would have changed in that scenario. He would have got that protect off with his heat trans, so I thought it was a really, really good match. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Definitely feel free to click the like button if you did. I have a question for you guys, though. I'm not going to be at my apartment this particular weekend. I'll think next weekend I will be, though. Do you guys want me to do any live streaming? I know a lot of you guys weren't able to watch me when I was able to do the live streaming for Battle for Charity, because I kind of had a midnight shift, but I know that a lot of people have been asking me about it. I'm kind of open to it, so just let me know down in the comments below, and I really appreciate you guys watching the video, taking time out of your day. Obviously, it's kind of a long one, but, you know, Tony's a great player, and that's kind of just how the match went, but I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I'll talk to you all another time, and bye.